Okay, guys, it's Rats Live with Tammy too.
Hi guys.
Wanted to show you a model I started yesterday. I had that red body of, I guess it would be a mid 50s Indianapolis 500 race car, I would think. And I didn't have a front end for it, so I cut the nose off, or the hood area and stuff, made a firewall. Let me see if I can see it up in there. Okay, that might be showing it good. So I made a nice firewall for it, and then started working on it. Let's see what we got here. And started getting it all together and doing some wheelie bars and stuff for it. I couldn't find good pulleys for the motor, so I went ahead and I made them on the lathe last night. I showed them to Tammy. She got a kick out of them.
Yes.
She said, they're so tiny. I said, yeah, they have to be. But since I couldn't find any good blower belts, I went ahead and made those, the pulleys and also the snouts. Let's see if we can even get it closer yet. Okay, switch it over to the other side. And I just did the coil and then aged it right away and put it in place. And let's see, I've got the tires that I just cast them. And then since the backs were, I'll show you how the backs normally are, but I grooved the edge of the brake drums, made brake drums out of them, and then grooved them. Let's see how that looks. And then I also drilled them for, let's see if you see that one. I drilled for the axle, did that on the lathe, but then I drilled for a brake line for these brake drums. Put them up there like they're supposed to go. Let's see if I can find something to kind of prop it up. Guess I really don't have anything to prop it up.
Model car guys, so can't wait to see this done.
How you doing? Good morning, Jonathan. Hope you're having a good Sunday. That's going over like a lead balloon. It's going around the bend a bit.
You should tell them how we did that painting back there.
Oh, this painting here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tammy did that one about 6 years ago. She did one of them pours where you dump a ton of paint on there on the board and start moving it around. It turned out so nice, but oh, good morning, Dan. And she moved it around. The reason we don't do those anymore, not only is it a big waste of a lot of paint, but it's also, you got to add silicone to it so it fish eyes. And then they call that cells, which I call that destruction of any good paint job.
Only did a few.
Yeah, she only did a few, and everything fish eyed then for me for there on out. But let me see. You able to see that? Because there's a glare on the TV for me. Does that look good?
I can see it good.
Okay. And that's how that's turning out. The lighting, I got like 12 lights going, a ring light, all that stuff, and it still looks like I'm in the dark. Okay. I've got those going on. And I just cast these just now. They're still hot. Did them about a half hour ago. This is one here.
He says 60s rule says that dragster is unique, Rob.
That one is really different for
It's a one-off.
for a rat rod. Yes, I can't wait to see it when it's done with all the brake lines and everything on it. I use guitar string, the smaller guitar strings. Okay, there's the mold. Let's see if I can show it.
Oh, that's showing up good.
I just cast it. This stuff kicks off immediately. It's clear. And in about 20 seconds, if you're stirring it too long in its container, it kicks off and gets destroyed right away. But see how the back is like that? I just put it on my lathe and turn it down to a brake drum. I face it, make it nice and smooth first, and then I put the ridges on the edges of it. So it adds a lot more detail, and you take something that's a liability and you turn it into an asset. But I've got a whole bunch of these, and I've got a whole bunch of ones that I still have to pour them to make them a mold yet. I just don't really need them right now, but I'm a sucker for really good wheels on a model. These were really big Kragers on that Raiders coach, and they're really not good for anything else except for in a semi tire. So now I can make some really neat semis that have cool looking wheels on them. So this is going to be interesting, I'm sure.
Jonathan says he's got to go. He's heading out the door.
Okay, Jonathan, good to see you this morning.
Have a good day too.
Yep, have a good time. You see, these are a little different. These I glue a let me see if I have one. I don't have any of them right now. But as you can see around the edges here, they were a cap for a water bottle. And I glued my rims to the bottom of that using hot glue. And then I'm able to make little bitty molds. I don't even know what rim this is going to be. This is going to be a surprise for me too. Oh, Kragers, look at that. Okay, that one didn't turn out. And the reason why is because I take an ink cartridge syringe filler deal and I fill it with stuff, and I have to work fast when I do it because, like I said, it kicks off almost immediately. I take it and I smudge it down inside there and really fill it in with the good stuff there. Let's see, what other one do we got? We got this one here should be the other front wheel. I should kind of sit down and relax a bit. There we go. Seat, nice dining room chair with no bottom, so I fall into it often.
Be careful.
Be careful. This won't be that wheel because I'm seeing tread on this one. Oh, them are the ones. Okay.
Yeah.
These are that Cobra, AC Cobra that I bought the model for. And I needed to cast wheels for my Ford GT40 because I like this style of wheel. Oh, now it's gone. It's under my recliner now. So this must be the wheel. Yep, I could see it in there. That one there is going to be this front wheel. It'll be that one when I pull it out. See how it turns out here. You can see why I would want to turn that on the lathe and turn it into something cool. There we are.
Oh, look at that.
Even have a wheel weight on it. I don't know if you can see it there or not, but turns out like a wheel weight right there. Which on this particular model of the kind of rat rod style, I don't think it'll have wheel weights. Let's see, what do we got here? A little surprise. Is what I do is I keep my other molds laying there real close. That way, if I have any left over, okay, this is another Cobra wheel, and is what I'll do with this. Okay, that one because it rolled away. Is what I want to do with these is to, let's see if I get up close.
6T's rule says you seem to have that that casting down to a science.
Well, thank you. I used to work at a prototype ocean-going yacht factory in 1991. I worked there for 8 months until I had all the molds made for all the yachts they wanted, all the interior molds and everything. And once I had them, then they just needed a skeleton crew then to pop the part out of them. So then I worked my way out of a job. That's,
Way to go, baby.
yeah, if you work too good, you won't have a job. No job security for you. Yeah, I was a young kid then. I was 22.
Oh, 22.
22. In fact, I was 21 and turned 22 when I worked there.
I miss the energy I had at 22.
Yeah. Okay, there's another one of them rims. Okay. Got all these all demolded. Yeah, so I used to make them plug is what it's called. You make your plug and then you pop a mold off of the plug. Then the plug is a high dollar kind of throwaway item once you pop your part off of it. Here we go. Yeah, those do look like brake drums. That's going to be really good. And then I'll run some brake lines to them. See if I can get it in here. But yeah, this one here, I'm going to rust some stuff on it. I got some bullet holes here in the side. And I'm going to have some rust coming down from them.
This is going to be neat.
This is going to be quite a little model, I think. And I just started on it yesterday. This was all stuff of robbing stuff out of my scrap boxes. Just my parts boxes. There was no real model of that. And
You MacGyvered it.
I MacGyvered the snots out of it. But it should be really cool when it's done. You see, that motor has a lot of detail.
Seat is aged very well. It looks real.
I just added that to it. I almost think that might be a little dark. I just added it right before I started the video. I'm kind of surprised it's not a little wet. It might be too late for me to add water to it and thin it out. I may maybe sand on it. That way it looks like it has worn and more use to it.
Once you add your rust, it should look pretty darn good.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to add rust to just individual spots. Just let me see if I get the back here. Warlord 196. And then I use 196. Is what it was is there was many different numbers that I had that were 1969. And then you just get rid of the 9. But it's done just like a couple kids would have made it back in the early 60s, about 62 to 64. That's what I wanted to use, everything from that era on it, everything that was available at that time. But I want to make it top of the line.
6T's rule says parts box builds are cool. You never know how they're going to run, how they're going to turn out.
Nope, it's always a kind of a mixed bag surprise kind of thing, which I've always liked doing that when I was a kid. If you didn't have any money for a model, and I lived out in the country, so it's like, well, go to the parts box. The good thing back then in the early to mid 80s was that you always had 3-in-1 kits, and I would get them because you always had so many leftover parts that you could customize something else into. They really kind of shy away from doing that now because they don't make all the money that they really wanted to make. So that's kind of a shame anymore. But see, I got all those done, and time to go turn those on the lathe. They're not hot, so they're pretty much ready to go, those two. And then I'll show a video when it's all done, but I think it's pretty close to being done now. Just brake lines and those two wheels and brake lines and the rusting. Yeah, I get way too hyper. I have no patience at all. My dad used to say, "Oh, you've got all the patience in the world to make those." No, I've got none. I don't have any patience.
But you're turning that hyperactivity, you're creating stuff. So that's good.
Making something out of hyperactivity. And now
Yeah.
that's kind of a good thing. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much, Dan the man. It's good to see you here this morning. And I hope to get this done pretty soon. Maybe I'll do another video in the middle of the night tonight.
Or
Monday.
have a nap.
I will end up having one nap. Yeah. Okay. Well, have a good day, you guys. Have a great Sunday, and I'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys. Be sure to stay cool today. It's going to be a hot one in some parts.
It's warm here now.
Bye.